Mike here with
Hayes Entertainment and Colt's Corner.
Hey.
Today's episode, we got UFC legend and Jon Fitch with a record of 32-8-2, fighting in the welterweight division.
If you like what we're doing, put your dukes up and hit the fucking subscribe button. If you're looking for a mug, perhaps a hoodie, head on over to IOnlyTouchGreatness.com.
Yo, this is Jon Fitch, and this is I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
We the best, just like Khaled says, we the best. We stay hot to death, we the best. Always down to wreck this Hayes Entertainment, what you know about that? We the best, just like Khaled says, we the best. We stay hot to death, we the best. Always down to wreck this Hayes Entertainment, what you know about that?
Can't beat us, we MCs. I make cats run like DMC. My boy gets saved, it's the ENT. On the track, I blow like TNT. Hot boys like CMB. Girls spend the night like a B&B. I say what I want what I say. Remain at the top, I'm the top of the game. Step back, I come up quick fast. So fast, when I stop, y'all get whiplash. So what you wanna say today? Hate the game, dog, I'm the ace of spades. I call player, bet it's not over.
Fine Hayes and Big Mike are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down.
Just like Khaled says, we the best. We stay hot to death, we the best. Always down to wreck this Hayes Entertainment, what you know about that? We the best. Just like Khaled says, we the best. We stay hot to death, we the best. Always down to wreck this Hayes Entertainment, what you know about that?
We the best, yes, that's something I can put plain. Hey, cause them ballers get paid. Pop bottles, homie, got dollars for days. Get low, sit low, in them politics trades. You want West Coast, just holla at Hayes.
We the best, just like Khaled says, we the best. We stay hot to death, we the best. Always down to wreck this Hayes Entertainment, what you know about that? We the best, just like Khaled says, we the best. We stay hot to death, we the best. Always down to wreck this Hayes Entertainment, what you know about that?
There he is, legend.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
Give me one
Thank
second.
you very much for taking the time for us today, Jon.
Hey,
We really
you know
appreciate
what?
it.
It's a nice pro setup there.
I was just going to say he's got the full meal deal. That's sweet.
He's done 1 or 2 interviews before.
All right. There we go, guys.
Yeah, we're just commenting on your nice little setup there, and it looks like you've done an interview before, that's for sure.
A few, yeah. Well, I have my Jon Fitch Knows Nothing podcast. I do out of my garage Sundays at 7 on the left coast here. And then me and Chris Tinkle, a buddy of mine, we do a Fitch and Tinkle Smash Everything. We do that podcast also. So I'm doing a lot of stuff.
I'm
We'll have
Ryan.
to check
by the way.
those out.
How's
Big
it going?
Mike.
Big Mike, and we got Copeland with us too.
Hey,
What's up, guys?
Thank you very much, Jon, for taking the time for us, man. We've been big, huge fans of yours your whole life, and means a lot to us.
Thanks for having me, man.
So we're going to start up here. Where did you grow up? Indiana, and what was life like growing up?
Fort Wayne, Indiana. I had a great childhood. Such a good childhood that it was bizarre to me when I became an adult and I moved, like, especially out to California, and I realized so many people didn't have good childhoods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, older brother, older sister. So I was the baby. I started wrestling at 9, 10 years old. I was in the 4th grade. Started playing football at the same time. But yeah, you know, I had a football mindset. I was going to play pro football up until my senior year of high school. And then I realized that I was just a little too small, a little too slow. So I just pivoted into wrestling in college.
What are some challenges you came across in getting to the UFC?
I mean, the sport didn't exist, you know, and when I was growing up, so it wasn't really like something you could put your sights on. But yeah, I think, early struggles were finding places to train. I had to, we started off at Purdue. I was, me and my buddy Mo, we were, trying to find guys at the bar who had watched fights and had seen VHS tapes of UFC fights and then thought about it. And then we'd get them to come in the wrestling room and try to get a workout in with them. And they'd usually quit after a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then, I think I fought maybe 7 times before I'd ever sparred a single round.
Wow.
And then, so that drove me to end up moving to California just to find training.
Okay.
When did the MMA actually start then?
Well, that was, I started thinking about it like junior year of college because this is one of my assistant coaches, Tom Erickson, he was fighting in Pride at the time.
Okay.
Big cat.
Okay. Well, you definitely made the right decision.
Yeah. And, it was just like, I started thinking about it. They had introduced weight classes. It was becoming to look more like a sport. And then I was hearing like stories about, like what these guys' lives were like, what they were doing. The money they were making, it sounded like a lot of fun. It sounded a lot better than, I was in school to be a teacher. And then my senior year, I had to do student teaching. When I did my student teaching, I was like, I'm not doing this. It's like, nope. But I was like, but what the hell? I was like, I'm 5 years into school. I'm 5 years into this degree. What now? So it had like switch my major and then take out student loans and crap. So nope. I was like, because all I want to do is teach, but I didn't want to like teach somebody else's curriculum and be like told what to do. So I was like, hey, you know what? Like I could fight. This seems like a lot of fun. I could also get my black belt in jiu-jitsu along the way. And then I can just teach. I don't have to worry about somebody else's curriculum. I could do that. So that was kind of what led me to go out to California. That was the fallback. I could always, use my teaching, education, teaching something else under my conditions, under my system, the way I want to do it.
Okay.
Cool.
Go ahead.
So Joe Rogan, I think the easiest way he always described your fighting style as was a grinder. Was Jon Fitch is going to step in there and fucking grind you down until you can't do anything more. That started from, I'm sure, a young age, but you noticed your college, you started with an 8-23 out of your sophomore, ended up turning that around to an 18-12 senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that work ethic and that determination that no matter what, I'm just going to fucking outwork this other guy come from?
It's just a stubbornness. I was like, I wasn't going to give up. I was going to do it again. I was going to do it again. I was going to do it again. There's something I could see early on was, even if I wasn't bigger, faster, stronger, better, whatever, like if I just kept going, most people would quit.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, at least I have that. I was like, I always have that. I'll just do it again. I'll just do it again. So, I mean, that stubbornness, I'm sure drove my mom crazy, but it's paid off pretty well for me.
If you could sit down for dinner with anyone, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive? I don't know. Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Okay. That's a good one.
Single leg on him.
Yeah. So you're
lure him in with a meal, and then we're going takedowns before that start.
Do you go submission though on Lincoln though, or you trying to just?
Oh, dude, those guys back then, like, so I did I was a history minor. Okay, so I could have been a history teacher also, and I had a history of Indiana class. So the type of wrestling those guys did back in the day was like specifically they would gouge an eye out. So they would hook, and tear your cheek open, or they would scoop an eye out. Like it was like nasty catch wrestling. Like it wasn't like, oh, I pinned your shoulders. These guys were like permanent damage to each other. And they would go around, town to town and challenge the toughest wrestler.
Wow.
Okay.
Holy.
What was
Guys,
your
guy was one I would show up to town who was asking to see your best wrestler.
what was your favorite strike and submission?
Favorite strike and submission? I love elbows. I used a lot of elbows and forearm type shivers from a top position downward on my opponents. I have permanent lumps and points and stuff on my elbows from
I believe
elbows
it.
I've thrown. But yeah, elbows are nice. And then the double H just a very useful technique to have.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie about sports?
Man, Vision Quest is up there. Hoosiers up there. Man.
A little blood sport.
Yeah, Bloodsport. I guess that qualifies too.
Yeah.
Fantasy sports.
Yeah.
Best of the best.
As of recently, I believe you finally hung him
Rocky.
up. Your
Yeah,
last
pretty
fight.
much, unless Logan Paul wants to fight me for $1 million or something.
Well, that's another call out right there. We got it first on I Only Touch Greatness.
I said
podcast.
this a long time ago. I said when they
shit.
first started doing whatever, I said that I would fight both of them at the same time.
I believe it, and you do well. Trust me. The
Yeah.
guy doesn't know how to fight. That's a joke. Obviously, take me back to your last bout with Naaman Gracie, your last one. It must have meant a lot to you fighting a Gracie.
Yeah, because I was pseudo kind of retired after the Rory fight, but I didn't really lose. So, the matchup was so good. I had to try, and the whole COVID thing was interesting. So I gave it another run. I had to train mostly out of the garage, so it was a very unconventional training camp. But yeah, he's tough. He's got to not move backwards though. He's got to move forward through when he fights. He's just got to go. Him and the Gracie that fought the other night, same thing. These guys just they gotta move forward. You're gonna get hit a couple times, but move forward.
Exactly.
To the clinch.
What was the best venue you ever fought in?
Man, Madison Square Garden was cool.
Okay.
That would have been
But-
sweet.
Yeah, that was cool. The fight in Rio, I can't remember what it's called. The fight in Rio. That was pretty badass. Australia was pretty cool arena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had a bunch of UFC legends like yourself on with Condit and Lieben and Pat Cote, and they all basically, and Kenny Florian, they basically all said Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah.
So you fought out of AKA, which in my mind is arguably the best camp in the world, with some of the baddest motherfuckers they got there. They got Khabib, they got DC.
A lot of belts.
They had Jon Fitch for a long ass time there. A bunch of guys with a whole bunch of different training methods and training styles. What were you able to take from each guy going in every day and seeing their work ethic and push and drive? And what did you learn from some of them?
Well, we built that gym up, as fighters very early on. It was Javier's kickboxing gym. He wasn't even interested in MMA at all, and he was kind of forced into making an MMA team by Josh Thompson. I think it was like Bobby Southworth and BJ Penn, I think at the time. BJ ended up leaving early on, and then Mike Swick came in, and I came in sometime after that. Shamrock was there, but he took off pretty early. And we had a lot of guys with wrestling backgrounds that were used to structured practice, and hey, the Wednesdays, this is the day for this. And, we had like set days and set workouts. Like we're used to that. That was what we had. We were used to having like one coach who like ran things. So, we kind of followed those models that we were used to and just adapted and added on and, perfected things. I think a lot of people kind of could see what we were doing and having success with, and kind of followed along and copied what we were doing because it was working so well.
Who is your sports hero?
My sports hero, man, when I was little, so like Bo Jackson was the man.
Wait.
Yeah.
Somehow I got into like Dick Butkus and Ray Nitschke, like the old linebacking crews back then. I don't know how, but I was always a fan of like the really gritty, tough guys.
Okay. Who's your favorite sports franchise?
Well, I was always a Colts and Bears fan when I was young, coming out of Indiana, in that area. But like, I think, college football rotated around between Notre Dame and Florida State and other popular teams at the time. Sometimes it was always just the team that everybody else was against.
Yeah. Always the underdog. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like a lot of sports I don't even watch anymore. Especially like football. I used to be like, I thought I was going to play professional football. I was so into football. And man, it's been 10 years since I've like watched a full game probably.
Wow. Do you still follow the UFC at all?
I do, yeah. I took a break from fighting for a little bit, from watching it for a little bit, because I was just frustrated because I don't like pro wrestling. I'm not, people like pro wrestling, fine, but I'm not a fan of it. And then I feel like they turned MMA into pro wrestling. So like, it's like I still like watching the fights, but it took a while for me to get back to watching them and appreciating the fights just for the fights and not paying attention to any of the pro wrestling antics around it.
Yep.
So like I watch a lot of the fights with no sound on. I don't read anything leading up to the fights. I don't watch any of the reports. I watch the fight. I turn it on. It's on too quiet for me to really hear what's going on. And I'm usually got a music or something else going on another screen.
And that way
you can make your own opinion.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't need the prop, because that's what it is. I mean, I get it. When things grow to a certain size, it all becomes sales and it's just sales. And I don't need the PR, like all the same commentary by the talking heads and everybody. It's all the same PR stuff. It's all the same fluff. You could take out each character and each person and replace them with somebody else, and they could say the exact same things, and it's tiresome.
Absolutely.
Did you have any pregame or pre-fight rituals?
When I'm watching or when I'm actually fighting?
When you were
watching,
fighting.
usually a nice whiskey.
Okay.
Fight rituals. I mean, I go through my normal warm-up routine, which is kind of ritual. Each guy has his own like way of doing things, which is just kind of ritualistic. I do a lot of pacing. It's my lion's walk. But no, like, yeah, I just same type of routine. Getting warmed up is usually, not doing full rounds in the midst, but just a few minutes, few seconds here and there, staying loose, shadow boxing, having somebody come in and shadow fight with them, beat them up a little bit of takedown work, maybe work on some game plan stuff. But it's a little different from everybody. Some guys will drill super hard and they'll do 5-minute rounds super hard to get their lungs blown out and a sweat going just to get ready for the fight. But I don't know. I have a martial arts mentality. I want to just be warm enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Ryan, wasn't it Lieben that told us he's a pacer too for hours before the fight?
Yeah, I think
shark.
So. Yeah.
I always thought of it as like a shark in the water. The shark doesn't like stop moving, but then somebody, one of my Brazilian fans said it was my lion's walk. It's a lion's walk. So you're pacing back and forth. You're about ready to eat or something, I guess.
Hopes.
So as you just mentioned, you just retired. Was there one fight that didn't happen that was, one signature away from happening, or one that you wanted in your career that never materialized, either with a fighter in the UFC, or when Pride was still around, or when there were guys still around?
The biggest one for me was always the GSP rematch.
Okay.
You know, I thought instead of fighting BJ, I should have been fighting GSP. And yeah,
I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, I definitely had the wrong mindset going to the BJ fight. I should have, if I would have had the right mindset going through that and just mowed through him, then the chances are I would have been able to get a GSP fight. But in my head, when they didn't give it to me, I was like, oh, they're never gonna give it to me. And yeah, I started to self-destruct a little bit.
What would you do after a big win?
Smoke a fat joint.
Yeah.
I went for a full Schwarzenegger. That was the goal. Yeah, I was successful.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's our rituals after we play hockey or Mike plays lacrosse.
Yeah. Is there
it's my celebration every morning when I wake up alive.
Yeah.
That's right. Wake and bake.
I made it. We're here.
Did you ever use CBD for recovery?
All the time, but it always had THC with it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Obviously you
I did have my friend Jennifer, what's it called? The Sweet Spot. She has this amazing CBD. It's like a eucalyptus or something, like cream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was using that, and she was giving me like tissue work like before the Rory fight. And that was keeping me put together pretty well. Like that was like one of the better CBD products I've used.
Okay. You obviously fought some of the toughest opponents out there: GSP, Damian Maia, Shields, Roy McDonald from Canada here, BJ Penn and Alves. Do any of them stick out to you more than the other?
I mean, GSP for obvious reasons. You know, he's on most people's list as pound for pound best. I think he's pound for pound best on my list. Him number one. I think Khabib's number two, and then Anderson right now on number three.
Yeah.
You know, Stipe. Well, Stipe could be arguably three, and Anderson four.
So that'd be like your Mount Rushmore would be those guys?
Yeah, Stipe is not done yet, though, you know, so it's hard to say that. And I got to double check, but I got a rule where you're not allowed on the pound for pound all-time list unless you have at least minimal 20 wins.
Okay. Good.
That's fair.
I don't think your career was long enough to make the list if you haven't had at least enough opportunities to win 20 times. Because
so maybe you're calling out Khabib then.
No, he's got 29 wins.
30.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's 30 wins. No, so like I'm saying, like, because so much can happen, you know, like if somebody's like, oh, I'm 10-0 and I'm retired, I'm the best ever. So much can happen, you know, in the next 10 fights, not just in the fights, but like your life.
Yeah.
Like
if you,
or some other shit.
Motorcycle
accident.
If you were an animal, what would you be?
Me.
First time we've heard that. I like it.
All right. So you mentioned how UFC is kind of going, or MMA kind of is starting to develop the mainstream kind of WWE vibe, that kind of wrestling gimmick. If Jon Fitch is to start his own MMA promotion tomorrow, what are you doing different from all these other big organizations?
Well, so that's the problem. It doesn't matter what I do if I start a promotion, because the system is the system, and the underlying fundamental system of how MMA works is what the problem is. And until we separate title and rank away from promoter, like that's the root of all the evil. Because if I'm the promoter and I can control who fights for the title, what the person's rank is, I can make titles up out of nowhere. I can strip titles away from no reason. I can make intramural, whatever, candy cane titles during the holiday season. like
Yeah.
it means nothing. I give those opportunities to the people who profit me the most, not the best fighter, not the best athlete. The best changes from the person who's the most capable of winning fights to the person who makes me the most money. That's the best now.
That's why Connor was thrown into the front so quickly, right?
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong, that dude would punch my face in by any
I mean,
means, but
Connor, I give him credit where credit due is. Connor, he stepped up when he was given the opportunity, though. Like a lot of guys get thrown into that place and they lose. He ended up winning those fights. Like that.
I totally get where you're coming from, though, John.
He actually
100%.
won them, but 100%, you're right. Like he put himself in those positions and they threw him out there because he was going to profit them the most amount of money. So they leapfrog him. They do that with a lot of guys all the time.
But
that's why
I'm totally with you on that one, though. They definitely should earn their spot at that title fight. It shouldn't be just given to you because you're going to make a bunch of money for Dana White. You should have to earn that.
And sometimes it's because, oh, well, this guy, he's only got 2 fights on his contract, on his promotional agreement. He's fighting for, he makes 6 figures he makes, like $500,000 a fight. And then we got this other guy over here who's not as good, who's just as popular, though, has just as many eyeballs, just as many followers on Twitter. He's got 7 fights. He's got 7 fights on his contract, and he's only making 50 and 50. Who do you think they're going to give the title shot to?
Yeah, true.
The guy with 7 fights left, because he wins the title. He still got that shit contract as a title holder. You're not going to give it to the guy with 2 fights left because, hey, man, maybe he defends 2 times, or maybe he wins that one. He's got 1 left. He defends. Now he's a free agent and he's your title holder. Whoops.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
You're going to have to pay.
Yeah.
So what do? You skip him. You switch their rank. Whoops, he's not good enough. He's in the rankings. What do I do? Dana comes on. He goes, oh, well, he slipped from number 3 to number 4. What do I do? Hey, you're the one who did it. You're the one who flipped the rank. What are you talking about?
Congratulations on, I believe you guys, if my stats are right, you won the UFC antitrust lawsuit. You want to touch base on that a bit?
We did not win. We won class certification for the bout class. Okay. So that just means we have a case. We get to go to trial next.
Okay. And what is the actual thing going on?
We filed a class action lawsuit against UFC, saying that they used, schemes to monopolize our bout class and image class. Image class was like our image likeness, that type of stuff. We did not get that one, but that one was a very small part of the lawsuit. So the majority chunk of the lawsuit is the bout class, and we got certification for that. So the judge thought there was enough evidence to warrant a trial, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I know we had Mark Hunt on last week, and he's got a big lawsuit against the UFC as well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mark Hunt's a great guy.
Yeah, man. One of the issues with what the UFC does is, like, everything you do, like every contract and everything you sign with them, like you have to agree to arbitration. So it means if you have a dispute, you go talk to their private lawyer, their private judge to get a decision on your dispute.
Lose situation.
like they go figure, they've never lost a case. Like it's one of the things that, like, we need, like, the Ali Act for, because it would put a squash on contracts.
And that's what he's trying, I think.
Yeah, he's trying to push that as much as he can. How did you calm the butterflies before you fought?
You don't. You just step out into the fray, man. You just go. Okay. You program the machine ahead of time so that you can, have faith in yourself and step out.
Okay, I got one more question for you. What the hell is this purple pink thing next to you on the back of your mic here?
Oh, this guy? It's my IT. It's my robot.
Okay.
I had another one on here. It fell down. I don't know. I got kids, so there's the other one. He fell down. My other robot.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, kid. I got toys everywhere because of kids or whatever. So
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, Mike?
If you could fight, yeah, I got it. If you could fight anywhere in the world that you never got to fight in, where would it be?
I mean, Europe, because I haven't really got to go to much of Europe. You know, I got to go to Germany for like a USO trip, but yeah, it would have been cool fighting like Italy or Spain or France under the Eiffel Tower, or in the Eiffel Tower or something like that. You know, that's the thing that I think they're blowing it on. They're really blowing it on these these fights right now, right? So they're smaller cards, they're more compact, they're all on television. There's no audience. So like they need to take advantage of the fact that it's a studio shoot for the fights. So like get creative with it. Like you could put it in the Eiffel Tower, right? They take the elevators up and you only need the you just need space for they can have the cages up, like shoot it from there with the your drones circling around.
Yeah, but then where's Dana White's seat gonna be?
He can like in like a crane outside or something. Have a crane. I don't know.
They can be,
and then you could do it in like a
looking for fight.
garage. You could do it like in an under garage, like underground, and like have cars all around it with the lights on. Like
now we're getting some real
Ironheart.
WWF stuff right there.
Yeah,
Some
like,
underground.
They need to roll with it. Just go with it. Like at the shipping yard with all the box containers.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That was one thing, actually. Well, we're on this talk. WCW used to do Bash at the Beach. They would actually take the ring to Venice Beach, or many different beaches, I believe, and you put the ring out there in the middle of the beach, and people could just wander by if they wanted. But it was a big pay-per-view.
We had guys that fought in Costa Rica and some other place. I think Bodog had fights in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You ever thought about getting into commentating, John? I feel like you'd be good at that.
I mean, we do like watch alongs and stuff with fights every once in a while. I would be interested.
Okay.
Who wins the main event tonight, Figueiredo or Moreno?
Figueiredo is just such a monster. You know, maybe Moreno hasn't scored enough high enough on my radar, but like you're just so used to seeing Figueiredo. Such a unique name, Figueiredo. They made it up, right?
Oh, his first name too. What is it? Division or something? How do you pronounce his first name? Division?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Who is the weirdest fighter you ever had to deal with during your career?
Weirdest fighter?
Yeah. Like even if it wasn't you had to fight the guy, but like you actually hung out with the guy and you're like, this guy's fucking weird.
I love him, but Rich Krungleton is one of the most bizarre people I've ever met. He's the greatest dude ever. Fluent in Russian. He like travels back and forth, but he's like like sophisticated Russian mob boss level guy over there. They pick him up in limos and he's in suits and whatever. And then when he comes back into Florida, he's like trailer trash, like he's barefoot, running around, driving around with guns in the front seat. Yeah, man.
That's funny.
He fought man and Hermes Franca. And Hermes dislocated his arm and let go and Rich hit himself and popped his arm back in.
Oh,
And then he ended up dislocating the other one. There's a picture of Hermes like looking at the ref like, what do I do? Because you can see the arm like just extended with the skin.
nasty.
He's like, what do I do? And the ref's like, he's not tapping. So he like go again. He popped his other elbow back in, and he like went to start hitting him. He ended up finishing the fight. He was
Wow.
like in splints for like months afterwards.
Totally.
Dude's
What was the worst injury you ever had?
I mean, I broke my thumb once, but I mean, the shoulder surgery was a thing that put me out the longest.
Okay.
That was like an injury I didn't really need surgery for.
Oh wow. Hey, John, I just want to thank you so much, man, for taking the time for us today. We're huge fans of yours, man. It meant a lot to us. And thanks, Leah, for setting it up for us. We really appreciate that.
It's awesome. Appreciate it. People can go to jonfitch.net, sign up for my newsletter. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. Podcast. I do courses. I do courses and stuff I put up on Gumroad, like wrestling courses. I have a neck care guide I have up. I have a kids wrestling course. I have a resistance band training course that's free. I'm putting more and more stuff because I've learned a lot of technique and a lot of systems fighting stuff over the years. So I'm trying to teach as much as I can doing seminars, and then I'm videoing those seminars, and then I'm trying to get them out there to other people because not everybody can make the seminar. So it's trying to educate people.
Of course, everybody check out Jon Fitch. I mean, he's a UFC and MMA legend. Check out his online seminars. We'll hook up the website here so you guys can just press a button and take a look.
All right.
Thank you very much, John. And we'll add all the links. Just send me all your links and I'll add them to the video.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you go jonfitch.net.
Okay. Perfect.
And that's the one link, and then everything. Hopefully everything gets there and people can click everything.
Perfect.
Else.
I will do that. Thank you very much. And I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Take care,
John.
man.
Thanks. Good
Awesome.
talking to
Thanks,
you.
John.
Merry Christmas.